Hello, hello, everyone watching. This is the first installment of Retro Boost Live, doing some streaming here to everyone watching now and to everyone who watches the replay, like posted its own video later. Thanks for watching. We're going to do something really goofy here, something I've wanted to do for a while, but I kept forgetting about, and then it just kind of struck me as the perfect thing to kind of start doing for this. So we're going to be playing Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door for the GameCube. Very classic and awesome game, obviously, but we're going to do something really silly. So, love action replay, talked about that plenty of times on the channel. And what I'm going to be doing is, with our old buddy Action Replay, I'm going to use a code that lets us start the game off with, like, every badge. The point of which is not to just, like, start the game off like God mode, but to actually be able to equip a badge called Double Pain, which is basically like, you could think of it like hard mode. It doubles the damage that Mario takes from enemies. So having that like at the absolute beginning of the game is going to be really interesting, because it's going to make it like stupid hard, kind of like The Witcher 3 when you do like Death March. That initial couple hours is just completely torture, but then it will start to level off the further you get in. However, I'm really worried about Chapter 4. With the hyper enemies that can charge their attacks, because that means that they'll be doing like 14 to 20 something damage per attack. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and start it off by getting Action Replay set up. I wanted to show the process for anyone who's interested. It may be funny if it doesn't work like a lot. Additionally, since I'm using cheats to start off the game with every badge, and I also need to give myself like infinite badge points to actually equip it, at least I'm pretty sure. I'll load it in and we'll test it. We'll test that part first. If I need infinite badge points, I'll do that. I'm pretty sure you do. You know what? I'll look it up before I do it. But I'm going to keep a note of what badges and the points that I have as I level up, so that even though things are like infinite and like super cheated, I'll keep track so that we are still playing by the rules. First, let me just verify real quick what the badge power of Double Pain is, because maybe we don't need infinite points. Bop, 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 bop. Really easy to verify this real quick. No badge points. We don't need infinite points. Perfect. I'll just keep a note of what badges I collect, so that I don't just immediately equip the best stuff like out of the gate. First, get this guy going. So first we load in Action Replay. Ooh. Miki is upstairs, currently chilling up there right now. She has befriended our other cat, finally, which is great. So they are chilling up there right now, but she will definitely be on future streams. And hello there as well, Sphinx. Nice to have you here. I'm just getting this all set up here. We're gonna start the game off with every badge so that I can equip one specific one. And then I'm going to notate the ones I collect so that I don't... It's a whole thing. I'm starting off the game with the Double Pain badge, and then I'm going to notate what I collect from there forward, so as not to just like have every badge out of the gate. So, a little goofy. It'll make sense as I continue. So, have all badges is all I need. Let me go ahead and start this. If anyone's ever seen Indiana Jones, the first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark, that's how Action Replay is. I have to like literally do the exchange for Action Replay to work. Hopefully it takes it. Oh, it might be good. Alright, we're probably good. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're good. Yes, this game is really, 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 really good. It's one of my childhood treasures, and I've played it somewhat regularly ever since. Like every year or two, I play this game. I've done this before, although I wasn't like fair about it. I'm gonna be fair this time. So Paper Mario, turn-based RPG, sequel to Paper Mario N64, which is like a spiritual sequel to Super Mario RPG. They're very similar in how like their action commands and their widening of the world, sense of humor. A lot of things are consistent across all these games. This was the last one that was like a serious RPG, though. After this, they were way different, for better or for worse, depending on the person you ask. What I'm doing, though, is starting the game off. I've cheated it with Action Replay. It's a cheat device. Start off the game with a badge. You equip badges to like give you perks and things. This one's a negative perk. You take twice the damage from bad guys. So it's kind of like hard mode. And normally you cannot get this thing until like 2 or 3 hours in, but with this hacking thing, I can do it from the get-go, which is going to be really interesting. And when I did this before, I just kind of ran wild and like just cheated all the way and had all my badges, and I was basically just God out of the get-go. Although taking double damage was still dangerous, it wasn't as hard. This time, I'm going to be legit with it. This is hard mode. So whatever badges I collect, I'm going to notate, because I'm going to have all of them. That way it's like fair. Got a piece of paper to take notes with. So we'll do that. This is the opening of the game. It kind of sets up the story. Basically, there's an ancient treasure. It's been rumored to have been in this town forever, locked behind a thing called the 1,000-Year Door, which, to its namesake, can be opened once every 1,000 years. And Princess Peach gets her hands on the map that tells you where to find the keys to the 1,000-Year Door. They're called crystal stars. Every Mario RPG game has their MacGuffins, and in this one it's the crystal stars. Super Mario RPG, it's the star pieces. Paper Mario 64 was the star spirits, etc., etc. So in this one it's the crystal stars. But she finds the map from this like nefarious-looking street vendor. They never showed the identity of this character. Like, I'm not sure if it's just like an actual weird, shady street vendor, or if that's one of the villain faction members, like in disguise, which would make some sense. It could be. There's a character that's going to show up that this probably is, but it was never like, I don't know that it was confirmed. Maybe it was. I don't know. I'm usually just kind of tearing through the text when I play this game nowadays. But she's gonna get the magical map, and then she mails it to Mario, which is kind of why I wonder if this is a shady character or not, because you think if it was a shady character who wanted the map to be opened up, like, the thing would open, and then this character would just be like, aha! And then take the map. But that doesn't happen here. She's allowed to walk away and, like, mail the map to Mario, so, I don't know. Thank you, Sphinx. The videos, they're really fun to make. Tori and I recently filmed like a kind of celebration video that'll be coming out soon, kind of like going over like just all kinds of moments across the last 3 years that I've been doing this stuff. And there's a lot of fun stuff, retro tech and otherwise, that I've done. Alright. There's my original file. Not the first one I ever did, but that's the last, like, that's the one that I did as a youngster right there, and like I maxed out the game clock. 99 hours and 59 minutes. It doesn't go any higher than that, so it's probably more. But we'll do a new game. We'll call this Pain, because it's gonna hurt. I am absolutely interested in the RetroTINK 4K for multiple reasons. So, number one, yes, what you just said right there. PS3, Xbox 360, those like early HDMI era consoles. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it works for those. But I'm also like kind of wondering what'll happen if I like go gadget multiple devices together. So like this right here is the CARBY right here. So GameCube to the CARBY HDMI adapter. I was doing some testing, and like this really seemed like the best looking thing, at least for streaming. I also tried using the Wii through USB loader, also looked quite good with the 5X Pro. But I settled on the CARBY just because it just kind of looks the sharpest when it goes through all the compression that happens for streaming, which is a lot. But I'm wondering what happens if we combine all that stuff, like the Rad 2X or the CARBY, into the RetroTINK 4K. Like, what's going to happen? That's what I want to know. But I mean, I've seen tons of videos on it, and like a lot of those custom profiles that are already made for it, like, are so awesome. What consoles do you have? Because I have all of the usual stuff, all of Nintendo's things, the 3 PlayStations, Xbox, and a Sega Genesis. What are you rocking? And then this is the magical map that she snail mailed. Mario gets a Game Boy SP, and you get emails from it in this game. I never had a Game Boy SP. And there's the map. That's the world. This is one of those screens that'll trick you, because it does not move until you press the A button. I get like screwed up by games that do that with their loading screens all the time, or instead of just going, they want to load. 28 consoles. Holy Lord. That's a good collection. There are tons of consoles that I don't have that I would like to have. But my current problem is that there's nowhere for them to go. Like, literally. I would need to get like another one of these racks. It's the same one that you can see here for the retro stuff. I did a video, I'm sure you saw it. I would need like another one of these. There's just no space to put new stuff. Alright, into the prologue we go. I'm going to equip this badge the first chance I get. I may not be able to do it immediately, though. It might make me wait until after this first little training battle, but we'll see. Oh, goodness. So you have 28 consoles, and then you have multiple revisions of said consoles. Because there are, there's different revisions of, I know what you mean, NES, the top loader. There's 3 different Genesises. There's a ton of Philips CDIs and things like that, and that's cool, man. That's really cool. And the guy's like, you don't want to get off here. Roadport's bad news. But it's okay, there's a princess waiting for you. Alright. Here we go. Now I get control. And we'll see if I can... there's no badge menu, so I can't equip it yet. But right after this little training battle, I can. Alright, save blocks. Doesn't autosave. Not a thing. Checkpoint saves. Alright, so we get our first... well, this is a recurring villain in the game, Lord Crump. He's pretty great. And then with him are, like, the goons of his particular faction, the X-Nauts. They're kind of the main bad guys of the whole thing. And then the Goomba character is our first partner, Goombella. Many of the partners in this game liken back to the Paper Mario game. Like, they're kind of like new versions of a lot of those characters. I forget the name of the little Goomba guy from the first one, but she's pretty much the same thing. But her personality is way better. The better written characters. The G-Comp, yeah. I looked into that. I very nearly bought one before I decided to just buy another Extron instead and kind of continue down that route. But if Extrons just disappear off the face of the earth, then G-Comp is like the next best thing. And then of course modded. Yeah, I haven't done any console mods yet. But I am currently switching from using Component for a lot of things to using SCART into a SCART switch, and that'll free up some ports on my Extron stuff, which will make it better. Let me to use more consoles. Alright, so... Gotta get used to the action commands again. Timing. If you press the A button at the right time during an attack or while defending, you will increase or mitigate damage that you do or take. Very important. Makes the battles a little more fun versus just like launching an attack and it goes. Like you're more engaged. This South Park Stick of Truth like used the exact same thing. Made that game super fun as well. See, I also saw. Was your Game Boy SP was that red or was it silver? What was the color? Those things are pretty cool. I never had one. I played with the friends a lot though. Fire Red's a good game too. I wish I had a real copy of it. I have a reproduction and it doesn't work properly. But a reproduction is better than nothing. You just can't save with it, otherwise it works fine. But that's where I could use the Retron 5 and then use save states to get around the fact that you can't save manually. So it's theoretically possible that we could play the whole thing. That's a really good, cool device too that I talked about very recently again for the first time in forever. The Retron 5 is such a neat thing. Yeah, it was not it was square. I felt the same way about the DS and the 3DS for that matter. Long sessions for certain games could be pretty painful. Games that were like shoulder button intensive when your hands are always like formation. Because I had a DS and I remember that was how I played like Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission for the first time. Was with my DS, and then I got a 3DS on launch day, and there just like wasn't a lot of stuff out for it at first. It was a really bleak window, but then a lot of games came out, so it's cool. You would need the they'd have to make like a, you know what they didn't do that. That was like the one time they didn't. So they went the other direction. The Game Boy Advance and then the SP, which I assume came after, was like, let's make it smaller. Whereas afterward, everything was all about it being bigger. Because the DS came out, then they had the DSi, and then the DSi XL, and the 3DS and 3DS XL. They kept making them bigger, but for the Game Boy, they kept making them smaller, because they had the Micro as well. It was like a limited like edition. During this dialogue here, there's like two dudes getting like the crap kicked out of them by like two gangster guys. You actually talk to those same people later in the game, the guys that just beat up those dudes. There's like crime turf war happening in the background. This is probably the only non-Mario sports game too to feature those characters, because those were the Pientas from Super Mario Sunshine, and I'm pretty sure they're only in this game, Sunshine, and then like a couple of the sports games, like the baseball ones specifically, and then like nothing else. Because I don't recall ever seeing them like playable anywhere else in the Mario world, except for maybe in the background of Mario Kart. I guess they just weren't too popular. Alright, and there's Toadsworth, who wasn't in the movie, but like this character who was totally just him, but not him, was. The only Toad that had like a dramatic, deep, booming voice. Oh, her fate's in your hands, princess. It's like, why wouldn't that just be Toadsworth? Like, come on, man. But he's telling us the princess is kidnapped, and we gotta get him. We gotta get the princess. I find it funny that Goombella also is like aware of Princess Peach, because like this is like somewhere else, but I guess Princess Peach is just known far and wide across the universe. Wow, the Vita. I would have never expected the words PlayStation Vita to follow someone saying my favorite handheld is. Not to knock it, because I think it's very cool. It just like seemed to not do well. So really, I thought it was cool as hell, firstly. It was really interesting to see the kind of like graphics and performance that a handheld could do, because it was definitely ahead of the 3DS, like hands down. It just didn't seem to do well though. I worked at GameStop when the Vita came out. I remember I was there for the launch, and we had like the demo one was like set up. So I got to mess with it a ton, and I thought it was really cool. It just kind of seemed to it just kind of seemed to come and go though, and then I remember it kind of became really popular again when the remote play feature like finally came about, and there was like a lawsuit about that or something too. But that's also like a really cool feature, being able to like have your console out of the house. I remember when I was working at Best Buy after GameStop, there was like a manager who would just like always hide in the back and like be playing PS4 via her Vita like all the time. And yeah, the Sony loves to do that. Sony's favorite thing in the world is to try to take something that's like totally universal and like, you know, everyone has a thing, and they're like, we're gonna make a proprietary version of that you have to use. Those memory cards was not the first time they did something like that. They've been doing it for a lot of different industries. There were like some camera things they did that with. There was the UMDs for the PSP were also like this proprietary thing. So yeah, not the first time they've pulled some silly stuff like that. I'm gonna get some minor stuff out of the way to kind of get some side quests brewing. This character here has dropped her contact lens. Now, I wear contacts. I tell you, if I dropped a contact on like this dirty, rugged stone floor in this town that also has like a noose for hanging people with, that contact is gone, and I am not trying to find it. But to her, it's very important. If you move or do anything, you step on it. And then she wants you to like buy her another contact. Which, again, as someone that wears contacts, the concept of like ordering a contact is really silly to me. You buy them in bulk, or you go to a doctor and like they can give you like 5. But she wants you to place an order for an individual contact lens. I guess she just wears them forever, which is also like not recommended. But if you talk to the shop owner here, he'll place an order for a contact. No prescription required, just a contact. There's actually, this is totally off topic. I'm going to come back to the Vita thing in a second, but Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, there's a scene that's cut from the TV version where he gets into like a brief kind of bar fight type situation. And you know, normally in movies, they like someone breaks a bottle and is like threatening someone with the broken bottle. He removes his contact, smashes the contact, is now holding like a little teeny thing of glass in his hand, and he's like, "You want to get nuts?" Because contacts did used to be made of glass. Now they're not. So that's a funny joke, but like it's also funny because like that's one of those things that like people nowadays will not understand what the hell just happened. Why did he have glass in his eye that he was able to break open? Because it's not how it is anymore. But yeah, they the Vita had some issues. I remember even when they announced it, that was like one of the few times that there was like a real upheaval in the E3 audience. People booed when they heard that the cellular aspect was like limited to whatever brand it was. It wasn't the most popular / there was no choice, so people hated it. I think it was AT&T, and they booed at that, which is really funny because E3, those are not just like people like you or me that are going to that. That's like a press event that like you have to be tied to those industries, at least back then, to get in. Like you have to be part of something in regard to that. I mean, you can, like a Joe Schmo theoretically can go, and they probably do sell some tickets, but the bulk of that audience are like managers, press people for websites, employees of these companies who were able to buy a ticket. When I worked at GameStop, you could do that. GameStop was like, hey, we've allotted X number of E3 tickets, and any GameStop employee can pay for one. And they were like outrageously expensive. I think it was hundreds of dollars, like 900. I might be wrong, but it was something like that. It was big money. And then that's how someone like me could go. So for the audience to be booing is like really funny, because those those are people that are like supposed to be there like in some kind of professional capacity for the most part. The longer E3 went on, the more they got away from that, and it kind of eventually did just turn into like a Comic-Con kind of thing. Like anyone can just go now. But now E3's just gone. Like I think they just killed it entirely. I bought a bunch of items because when you move to this screen, you get pickpocketed, because this is like a crime city, so you lose 50% of your coins. So whatever you could buy will mitigate that loss. So I'm down to 25 coins. I started at 100. But now, can I equip the badges now? No, not yet. I think it's coming. I forgot. Oh, you know, it might not be until after I get to the 1,000-year door. We'll see. Still earlier than the usual point, because you can't even have the chance to buy this thing until like after chapter 2, which is like 3-4 hours in, like minimum, unless you're like, you know, speed running or skipping or whatever. 3DS, yeah, the 3DS, like, very cool console. I have few bad things to say about it. Toxic 12-year-olds. Yeah. I didn't do much online gaming in that era, but I did do some, and yes, it is kind of scary how untransparently just evil people can be when they know that they're anonymous in some capacity. Which is why I'm not really big into online either. I remember like playing I played a little bit of Call of Duty online back then. We're talking like 2011, 2010, so like Modern Warfare 3. And I remember that like it was muscle memory to immediately mute every single player in the lobby before like the match began or after the match transition, just to turn it all off, because like I don't want any of it. Even if it was good, I didn't want any of it. But yeah, the 3DS. Funny thing about the 3DS, before I worked at GameStop, I started working at GameStop in fall of 2011. So I had a 3DS, like I had pre-ordered it before I started working there. And like, you know, until you work there, or unless you have like an in, nowadays information is like so out there. Like everyone knows everything about everything nowadays. Information is available everywhere. Like thanks to social media, for example, you could open up some story on TikTok or something, and like now you know the plight or the daily goings on of an employee at Starbucks. You know, with games back then, you'd have to be in there. So I didn't know how, like, the performance stuff had worked at GameStop. So when I pre-ordered a 3DS, and then I pre-ordered a bunch of games because I was so excited about it. Like, oh, there's a new Paper Mario coming out. Oh my god, there's a new Star Fox coming out. I pre-ordered, like, all of them. But then, like, all of them had their dates, like, way pushed back. Or they went into, like, to-be-announced status. I was like, you know, I got like $30 in pre-orders tied up, and like those games are coming out potentially never, or like a year and a half from now instead of 6 months from now. So I might as well just cancel them and put that money towards something else. And I remember having to like kind of argue with the GameStop employee, and like it kind of bothered me, and I didn't understand why. Because in my mind, I'm like taking away money, but I'm gonna buy something else like right now. Like you didn't lose any money. But then when I worked there later on, I'm like, oh, I know why. It's because they track all this crap, and it's like your sales metrics and stuff. And he took like a bunch of cancellations, which like annihilated his performance for the day, and that's why he was like trying to argue, but like doesn't want to cross the line and like be an ass about it. But yeah, I canceled like tons of the pre-orders I did for the games because their dates were just like, it's coming out never. Because even like Mario 3D Land was like the launch window, but it got pushed back too. So like I bought the thing on day one, and it was like Street Fighter and Nintendogs were like the first games I owned, and like that's all I had for like months until finally we got like Ocarina of Time 3D, Star Fox 3D, Mario 3D Land. But it was way later. It was a very dry launch initially, from my perspective at least. But I love that console. It's super good. Yeah, is this the action commands? Yes, I know about action commands. I don't want a tutorial. Alright, can I equip badges now, please? No, I can't. So we're still rocking vanilla damage. I guess it's after this part. This is going to be our first big battle, though. So we get accosted by some unsavory sewer dwellers. What's a fine-looking Goomba doing with the tubby mustache man like that? You know, some people really compliment the mustache. Some people don't like the mustache. That's kind of there's like a running thing about his mustache in these games, being a good thing or a bad thing. So now we gotta fight him. So a lot of the battles in this game, you're up against more than one opponent at a time. In this case, 3. The maximum is 5 for an encounter. But this is where the double damage thing is going to be really interesting once I get it equipped, because, like, you know, you think you math it all out. Like, they're capable of giving you a lot of punishment in one turn, and you only have 10 health to start with until you level up. So they would normally do 1 damage each, but then they do 2 damage each. So we're talking 2, 4, 6 in one turn. If I screw up, they'll do 6 or 8 of my health out of my 10 in one turn. So definitely can't mess it up. So far, so good. I'll do the tattle now, since there's no rush. So Goombella can give us like a scan on the enemies. She'll give us a description of like what they are. Maybe she'll list out some attack that they do. But the most important thing is she'll tell us their stats, and then it'll display them permanently from that point forward for that particular enemy. So she reveals the health bars, basically. Not a requirement, but it's fun to kind of catalog it all if you're going for like a 100% kind of thing. And there's secret action commands. That's what the stylish stuff is. It's not important right now, just for me it's habit. But when you do the stylish stuff, the audience that'll eventually be there will give you more star points. They like cheer for you. And more star points regenerates your ultimate attacks quicker. So it's important to be able to dish out that as often as you can, especially if I want to end the fight super quick, because they're going to be doing the double damage stuff to me. Just not yet. Mario attacks 2 ways, jumps and hammers. The hammer can only attack ground enemies. Flying enemies you have to jump on. As simple as that is, it creates a lot of pretty interesting situations with different combinations of enemies, as we will start to see. Right now it's pretty simple. It's just Goombas and other ones. Koopas will show up later on, and then all kinds of weird stuff. See, I screwed that one up. Did it too early. I didn't scan him, actually. I never played Fire Emblem Awakening, but I did play Smash Bros. And Street Fighter 4. I did acquire the 2 Fire Emblem games for Switch. I wanted to make sure I bought them because I'm sure in 10 years they're going to be worth $1,000 million. We'll see. The one on GameCube is like one of the most expensive games for that system to buy. No, I want the mushroom. I wanted to smack him, but he got away from me. So him having the spike on his head, I can't jump on him, I have to use the hammer. But you can only hammer an enemy that's directly ahead of you, so like, if the spike guy was 2 enemies deep, I can't hammer him right away, I'd have to work my way through them, and then hammer him afterwards. So like, situations like that are how this game creates these interesting little scenarios. And then that was a star piece, and then that little hamster looking thing is something that will be important later on. We need that black key. Speedruns of this game are pretty funny because we have the professor character following us right now, and speedruns do like a kind of sequence breaking for this game, and like they have the professor follow them for like the bulk of the playthrough. It's pretty funny. The game is not able to like unload him too, so even other characters that you cut away to still have him on screen, which is really funny. This is the black chest. There's a lot of these in this game. They all kind of work the same way. So I'm interacting with it, and the chest is talking to me. You can hear me? You can? You must be the hero of legend. And Mario's like, me? And it's like, only the hero of legend can hear my voice. Yeah, everyone else? Nothing. So obviously, this thing is telling the truth. A long time ago, an evil spirit cast a curse on me, locking me in this box. I was bummed. I've been here ever since, waiting a long, long time for the hero to come by. And that's me. I'm the hero. So anyway, big guy, big guy, what brings a hero like you to a place like this? And then the professor's like, I don't think we can trust this box. Now that means he can hear it, so I guess we're all the hero of legend. Alright. So now we have the choice of like, we can either not open the box or we can open it. But I mean, he said that we're the hero, so we should totally open it. He wants us to get the key. I already got the key. You can almost always get the key before you even talk to the box. It's just different dialogue if you don't, and then you debate it. But we're going to open the box because I'm the hero of legend, and he said that I'll be rewarded and I'll be a great guy if I open the box. Here we go. Thank nothing, we fools! I was lied to. You fell for it, I burned you. You're like, yeah. The funny thing is, the more this happens, the more self-aware it gets. So he's gonna cast an evil, terrible curse. And what did he let us do? He gives us a power. Curse. Terrible curse. There's a bunch of these. The first one, we can turn into a paper airplane. So there's like paper powers. And then we can steer ourselves a little bit. So now we have the ability. I zoned out. So you just kind of agree like, yeah, all right, it's It's the worst. And there he goes. Ugh. Alright, which lets us now go to the next area, because we needed that ability to do this. Whee! And like that, we're at the 1,000-year door. Turns out not so hard to find. I don't really... People been looking for it or whatever. It's right here. It was, what, a 10-minute walk from the city square? Alright, if we hold up the map, we can get our first coordinates for where the next crystal star is, or the first one in this instance. I have the power. So when you say the newest one wasn't so great, that's not Three Hopes. There was like another one, it's like a spin-off, right? It was like Fire Emblem Engage, something like that. Because I heard the same thing. That one apparently wasn't like too good. Nope, and there goes the map. Creates a castle, so wherever the crystal star is, it appears on the map. On the map, 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 on the map. Alright, and we got our first special move, which is a healing move. It's not too good. You're only ever going to be able to heal up like 5 or 8 health at the most. But it's something. I'm probably gonna have to. We're gonna be seeing that a lot probably with once the double damage begins, which it's about to, because this is where we get to equip that badge. Yeah, I think a lot of people love Three Houses. I had a friend who was talking about it all the time when it came out. I have not played it. I've only ever played one of the Game Boy ones, but not all the way through, just like briefly. So I know of what the games are. I just haven't like played it personally. I just skipped the tutorial for doing the special moves, because we don't need to do that. So, the magical map has pointed us to a location called Petal Meadows, which we now are going to head to. I'm just going to kind of breeze through this. I think what he was saying there is that Princess Peach had actually come to him and talked to him about this map ever so briefly. Which once again is like funny, because like was the vendor a trap or no? Just like let her wander around town asking questions and then mailing the thing off. Okay, so I'm gonna write this down. We got Power Smash, and I want to write it down because it's already going to be in the inventory from the cheat. So I have fairly acquired Power Smash. But this means that now we can actually equip Double Pain. Oh no, it didn't work! Freaking Action Replay, man, sometimes. Maybe it's because it was a new game file and now I'm at a certain point, so I'm gonna try it again. I'll save the game and we'll try Action Replay real quick. Alright, let me throw that back in. Do the Indiana Jones exchange. That happens sometimes. Now that I'm thinking about it, the same thing happens with like Metroid Prime or Prime 2, because the tutorials mess with the power-ups that you have, so starting the game off with everything is kind of a moot point because it's going to take it away from you, so maybe the same thing is true here. There were no badges until that point, so that's probably why I couldn't do it. Alright, have all badges. Alright. You better work this time. I played a little bit of it'll be a video that I'll do soon-ish. Did a bunch of capture footage for the Pikmin 1 and 2 re-releases. They looked quite cleaned up, better than they looked in some of the early trailers for it, honestly. Those games were fun. I'll probably do comparisons like I did for the Prime Remastered and Kirby and Skyward Sword, but I'll do it a little differently because I keep learning new things. There we go. Okay, so now here's every badge in the game. So we are looking for one particular one here. Oh wait, I can probably sort ABC. No? How is that ABC? You suck. Oh, it's broken. Alright, looking for double pane. There it is. Alright, double pane has been equipped. Additionally, we know that we have Power Smash, so I'm going to go ahead and equip Power Smash because we've gotten that one fairly. The rest do not exist. That's why I'm going to be writing down what I find, because you know we're cheating, but we're cheating ethically. Is what's happening. Welcome to the stream, the Monkey Race Car. That sounds like a very good race car. I would actually be interested to watch a race with that kind of race car. If you just hopped in, you probably saw it there, but using a kind of cheat method, I'm starting the game off with every badge, the purpose of which is to equip double pane, which will basically make this game very, very hard. Because now Mario's going to take double the damage, which will really punish me hard for missing action commands, like missing that. Not being able to hit on the first turn is gonna be troublesome. Alright, one down. Gubella can't do anything here though, so this is gonna hurt. Ah! Okay, so I defended, but he did 2, which is like the normal max he does on like normal circumstances. If I missed that, it would have been 4. I got 10 health. 4 is 40% of my health in one move. Like, that is terrifying. So it makes this game really... The beginning's going to be the roughest. It'll probably level out. And yes, I'm an ethical cheater because we're making the game harder for challenge is my assertion. Alright, this is the first boss. This is basically 3 enemies. He's got two tentacles and then his body, so that's 3 turns he gets. This is gonna be... Well, here we go. So the last time I did double pane, I just like full-on cheated for fun and like just used all of those badges to be just like the destroyer of worlds, which kind of like nixed the effect of it being harder like it would be. But now this is like straight up, so there may be game overs here and there. I think chapter 4 is where it's going to happen the most. Enemies in that chapter have the charge ability, like the charge badge, so they can do like under normal circumstances like 7 or 6, double that, it's like 14, 15. It's gonna hurt. Alright, let's... You know what? Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'll get the logbook entry. So that way we get his health bar on screen. I'm gonna use an item to deal with these tentacles. So he's got 12 HP. So his attack is 2, not 1. So you math that out. 2 tentacles doing 2 each. It's 4 right there. There's half my health gone in 1 turn if he gets hits on me. However, fire flowers do 3 damage. So this will deal with those problems all at once. And now, definitely want to end this as fast as I can. Alright. That's where the star points come in. You gotta be fancy. I know what Goombellas are. It's hard to... It's when she first jumps. Is her stylish window. I struggled to make that one. Yes! He didn't even get a single attack off. Oh, I'm gonna buy the remake for sure. I would love the chance to kind of play it anew. I will definitely be buying the remake. I already pre-ordered the Mario RPG remake as well. That's coming out in like what, a month and some change. Should be a lot of fun. I've actually never played that game before, so playing that will be the first time I've experienced it, which is funny because that'll be the second time that I've played a game for the first time when it's a remake. The first time being Resident Evil 4, which Tori was generous enough to gift to me, and I never played RE4 when it came out. I'd seen playthroughs of it, these partial playthroughs, because I knew about a lot of it, but never experienced it firsthand until the remake, which was awesome because the remake was really, really good. So Mario RPG is going to be a similar experience. Alright, so now we are in the first major chapter. Tutorial is over. The game is now open. We are going through things. I'm going to encounter pretty standard enemies here, but the Koopas are going to be the ones that are going to give me the most trouble. Because they'll be doing like 4 damage per turn if I fail action commands. So that's going to hurt. So I never played the original RPG game, but I watched a speed run of it at AGDQ like a month ago, and I was telling Tori about what I was seeing, and I was like, oh man, this puts a lot of stuff into context, like memes and jokes from other things that reference that game, like all make sense to me now. Alright, close call. I gotta write it down. So I'm writing down the ones I get. Since I used that cheat to get them all, I still want to like be fair, kind of, you know? So I'm writing down the ones that I'm actually acquiring. Oh no, get away, get away! I do want to equip that. Close call will increase my damage when my health is super low, which is gonna happen from time to time. Close call. Oh, sorry, makes a miss. I'm thinking of Last Stand. No, there's the Power Rush. Cause there's like 3 of them. I think it's Power Rush is the one where you get more damage if your health is critical. All right, so first attack, very important because I can pretty much immediately remove an enemy from the field that has low enough health. And then he's gone. So that's encounter dealt with. The 1,000-Year Door is definitely my favorite of the Mario RPGs that I've played. I first played this as a Blockbuster rental, and I got toward like the end of Chapter 2, which is multiple hours in, but percentage-wise, like not even 15% of the whole game, before I had to return it, and then like maybe a year or 2 later, managed to buy a copy. and then owned it ever since. Super love this game. Alright, so far these battles are going my way. 72 points. When we get to 99 and then roll it to 100, we'll level up. HP is probably the smartest thing to do first. Oh, can't get that yet. I forgot. Usually, I level it up like I'll do HP, FP, BP, like in that order, and kind of just level up like evenly. When I played this as a kid, I just went like all into HP and like a little bit of badge power. I recall having like 100 health going into the final battle, but only like 15 flower points and like 15 badge points. And I beat the game, but it was like a massive slog in the marathon. So then like with that same file, there's like a stat reroller person you can find. And then I kind of evened it all out and then beat the game again way easier. That's kind of where I learned, like, okay, all HP isn't necessarily the way to go. It's worth noting that only Mario takes the double damage. The partners take normal damage. So Goombella, like any partner I have equipped, is not in the same risk of being annihilated in 1 or 2 turns as Mario is. Although, depending on the situation, like the difference there is the partner's HP pools are not as big as Mario's is going to be, because no partner gets more than like 35 HP, 30 or 35. Some of them stay around 15 or 20, or even 20. Yeah, like I think Koops only gets like 25 or something like that at like his max leveled up status. So yeah, it's still right, gear. Oh, okay. We got a fire flower. Alright, now we find ourselves in the first town, Petalburg. This is where like the Mario RPG games do like a lot of world building, because like they flat out show you like, yeah, you know what, not all Koopa Troopers or Goombas are evil. Like, this is a town of mostly Koopas that are just living their lives, you know, just hanging out, chilling, minting NFTs, whatever turtles do. So, always thought that was pretty cool. And they kind of hint at that in the Mario movie, because in the dungeon that they're all in, you can see that there's like Bowser minions in some of those cages. So it's like maybe those were defectors or ones that didn't want to join the cause. So just something that I thought was interesting. I don't think there's anything worth buying in here right now. We'll get a bunch of those for free. Let's see. Oh, I'm full up anyway. I gotta get rid of that mystery thing. We'll see what that is. The game kind of gives you like a sort of tutorial on item usage via giving you free items, so no need to buy the POW block, because I'm going to get a POW block. Alright, this is the mayor of the town. Super old, senile turtle. He's just like advocating like, hey, you're here to rob? Take whatever you can. Take it, you fiends. Just leave the photos of me and the missus. Have some class. And then he calls you Martio. Doesn't hear your name right, because... Yeah. So, he'll tell me that there's a dragon nearby. The dragon's name is Hooktail. Hooktail's kind of like a problem for the town. Like, the dragon is known to eat the occasional poor innocent Koopa. So that's going to be the boss of the chapter, is Hooktail. And now I got an email. Mailbox SP. It's the Game Boy SP, but it's getting emails. So we'll get emails from characters in the games that we meet. And he sent a selfie for some reason in this one. It's not a requirement. There's a part of the plot that like utilizes that, but keeping up with it outside of that is not a requirement. And I think there's like a trick that the speedrunners use to like glitch it into stop messaging you about stuff because it makes you stop. I thought that was kind of cool. This is Koops. He's going to be our next party member, but he won't be joining us right now. He'll join us after. He doesn't have the courage to... Not so much courage, he's just shy. He's had a hard time asking us to join the war. When I'm skipping dialogue, I'm mashing the B button, so that's why Mario will like come out swinging out of conversations like that. We need star pieces to buy badges in some places. Alright, so now is where some Koopas will start showing up. They have 3 health and 1 defense, so it's not possible to kill one of them in a single turn if you can only attack once. Like, Mario and Goombella together can kill one in 1 turn, but not 2, and not solo. Because when you attack them, they fall on their back like that, and then their defense drops to 0. So now they're like totally vulnerable. You gotta be kind of careful how you invest your time though, because if there's like 4 of these guys, you kind of want to knock them all over first versus targeting them one at a time. So we'll see. I think they're down for at least 1 turn, maybe 2. But they'll hop up eventually. But I got them. Uh-oh. No. Oh my god. He just... Oh man. They do 4. I forgot to tattle the Goomba. I need your health bar. She's like, this is me. Like, I'm reading my stats right now. Goombas are the underlings of underlings. Ah! You're nothing. Okay, so here's like where it's like, so they got 3 health, and I'm only capable of doing 1 or 2 damage at max in a turn, so it's like, if you don't attack them together, you literally can't kill one in 1 turn, and if there's more than 1 of them, that's where things are going to start to get out of hand. Especially with the double damage happening there, because even if I successfully block it, they're doing 2 damage. I've only got 10 health. That's 5 hits. So, trouble. I need these hearts. There's a badge you can equip that increases the quantity of those that spawn. Oh! Ah! I'm gonna want to get one of those as soon as I can. Alright. I got 4 health, not 3. That's my mistake. Definitely can't 1 turn them solo. Ah! No! Oh no! it doubled. Holy cow. Oh no. Pain. Oh, I can't believe that. So, oh my god. Those poison mushrooms, I think they cut your health by half. But I guess it doubled it, so half would have been 5, so it doubled it to 10. Which I have 10 health, so getting that bingo instant game over me because of double pain. Oh no! Oh, that's nuts. Alright. I knew there'd be a game over at some point. Legitimately didn't think it'd be that soon. I thought it'd be chapter 4. Damn. That is hilarious. Definitely don't want to hit the poison mushroom bingos. Jesus Christ. I shouldn't have hesitated. I should have just hit the button immediately. I prolonged the odds by spooling up the way I did. God, I was so close to a level up too. I would have I don't know for sure how that damage is calculated, but assuming it did 10 damage, if I leveled up at least once prior to that, I would have been able to take it. Because I am going to level up HP first. And then after that, I think what I might do, just for giggles, is put it in y'all's hands. And let the audience vote on that. Not this time, dude. I timed. This is like the finale of Scott Pilgrim. I've come back and I've realized my mistakes, and I'm not making them again. I earned the power of self-respect. Ah. Hey, I didn't establish that one. Alright, the next one is gonna be a level up. Oh man, I'm gonna be like legitimately terrified to see poison mushrooms in that queue. Good lord, man. Oh no! I didn't get the first strike. Jump on you. Why not? Mystery. A Voltrum? Oh. It's funny that he chose to attack her knowing that she's electrified and thus would rebuke the damage. But his prerogative. There's a badge you can get that like, oh god! There's a badge you can get that gives you that status permanently. Thankfully, we're leveling up. Holy cow. Alright, so I'm going to do HP, which... well... I guess there's no way to avoid the poison mushroom probably always kills. Because if it's half your HP times 2, then it's always going to be whatever your max is. So, I think that's just the problem. Alright. This is where the game really wants us to use items, because it's not technically possible to kill these enemies straight up. At least at this point in the game. When you have like the better weapons and stuff, like the upgraded hammer, you definitely can. You encounter them on one of the later levels. Multiple, actually. So here we have to use a POW block. And even if you have her use her tattle power, I mean, she said it right there. She was like, they're super tough, so you should just use a POW block. And like, you find one in the bushes outside this room. That's how you get it going. God, you saw it too. That spiky Goomba, I missed that action command. He did 4 damage. That's like almost half my health in one turn. So important that I got that first HP up. It's gonna help out immensely. Alright, if I can knock them both down, that's gonna be very handy. Sometimes the audience will throw things. Sometimes it's helpful stuff. Sometimes it's trash and it hurts you. I can see the Luigi's in the audience too right now. That happens from time to time. Our bros coming out to support us. Ugh, man. Oh no, there's a poison mushroom queued up. Oh no. I don't want another one. Please. That is crazy. Ooh. Wow, that counts. Okay. Going back to the PlayStation Vita conversation, when I think about how the audience booed when the cellular part was like all controversial, that makes me think of that notorious thing that happened with the Blizzard's announcement of Diablo Immortal, where the guy was like, "Do you guys not have phones?" Like, oh my god. that's the consequence of. I don't know for certain. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that the guy that was on the stage and said those things probably is not a gamer or someone that works like directly for Blizzard. They're just there as like a PR person. That's definitely obvious when that stuff kind of happens, because to go back to where I was saying that I worked at GameStop, I remember when the E3 was happening, they had like the TVs playing these clips, and this dude's like doing interviews of people, and like he's interviewing all these like people that are at the event, and like he interviews this one woman, and he's like, "What are your favorite games like of all time?" And she replies to that question with Elder Scrolls V, Mass Effect 3, Assassin's Creed 3. Those were all games that came out like that year. So it's like, oh, your favorites of all time, and they all happen to be big releases that are being advertised right here, right now. Crazy. So definitely not someone who participates in the industry. Oh, ooh. I'm gonna do 1 damage. Alright, 1's better than nothing. Okay, so these guys, let's spiky guy, I can't hammer him until after this dude. I don't want to use the fire flowers yet. Alright, he attacking Bella, super good. Definitely afraid of taking 4 damage if I don't have to. Oblivion? I haven't played that one. I remember seeing like a lot of trailers for it, and like a lot of videos of it, and like people were definitely nuts about it when it came out. I own it, but I haven't played it personally. Boop.
Skyrim was the first Elder Scrolls game that I played, and that was kind of a big deal for me because in terms of like gaming, I was very sheltered. Like I had a very narrow universe of games that I played, was allowed to play, etc. Like I didn't play an M-rated game until I was actually the legal age you're supposed to be to play M-rated games. So like that was like a big deal to me personally. I remember saying to myself like, "Oh man, this is something like totally new." When I bought Skyrim, because I'd never played anything like that before, like a real RPG. Not to say that like this isn't a real RPG, but what I'm trying to convey is like, like a legit, mature fantasy, like hardcore experience. And I love that game. I played just too much Skyrim. Nope, no Morrowind I didn't have an Xbox growing up. I was N64 when I was really young, and then GameCube kind of when it came out, and then Wii a couple years into the Wii's launch, and then the first non-Nintendo console that I owned was a PS3 that I bought in like 2009 maybe. One of the original like fat Spider-Man text on it models. Later I got like a slim one because that one started to have problems. So that was that's why. My brother had a PS2, but I like just never played it outside of like playing Jak and Daxter with him. It's mostly him at first, me afterward, and then playing Tony Hawk's Underground with him, and then something else, but like out of my entire childhood, the years of it, I probably played like just single digit hours on that PS2. So it was all Nintendo stuff. I had friends that had Xboxes though, so like going to their house, I played like all of Halo 1 and 2, and God, I want to say that I saw one of them play Morrowind, Doom 3, for sure. So yeah, so that's why. Ah, damn it, this question. I hate this question. I always want to guess 12. I think it's 16. It's probably not 10. Not that it matters, because if I get... Ah! I knew it. I mean, 16. He asks like 6 questions. You only have to get 4 of them right or something like that. You don't have to get 100%. The mayor, yeah, I'm sure. They should do a remake of something like Morrowind. I mean, for the same reason that like, a remake of Resident Evil 4 like worked so well. Like, remaking it allows you to make that game what they wanted it to be back then, but couldn't because it was back then. There are just like, not just technical limitations, but like through technology and through imagination and through experience, there's just things that game developers kind of learn with time, and like that's why Resident Evil 4 was like, the remake was so damn good, because like it is the original game, but it's the original game if it came out today, and like, they did such a good job with it. So for that same reason, a remake of like Morrowind or stuff like that in that era could work out really well, and more developers should jump on board. It's so funny that like remaking movies is like, the reaction is just like throw the salt over your shoulder. Remaking a movie, no, don't remake that. But like remaking games, quite the opposite. It's like, yes, please please do. Not just re-release, but like remake. There's a distinction there. Like Metroid Prime Remastered, the Dead Space remake, RE4 remake, like that kind of stuff, like is really cool and can be awesome. HD re-releases are fun too, but it's not the same thing. Alright, we got multi-bounce. Write that one down. Multi-bounce. I am going to equip that now. That'll come in handy here and there for knocking over Koopas, mainly. Alright, these are fuzzies. These guys came back in the Mario side-scrolling games as, like, obstacles. But other than that, I haven't seen them since in anything Mario-related. They are really obnoxious because they have 3 health, so you can't, like, one-shot them with just one character. And they sap energy, so every successful they do on you removes your progress of killing them. Which is why I brought a lot of fire flowers, because they do 3 damage. Boop. I'm not going to use it on every single fuzzy encounter, but I mean, it makes it easy, so. Sweet. I think there's 2 of these little guys per hallway, yeah. And then a boss encounter. Okay, multi-bounce. Finish you off, do you some damage, and then I'll give Bill, I can take him out. Strategy. Alright, and this is what we came for. We need 2 of these keys. They're going to open up the path to Hooktail's castle. And I'm just going to use a fire flower again. Looks like the stream is struggling some. I'm gonna wait a second there for that to stabilize. Not sure why. All the stats are good. Alright, there we go. Weird. So much testing, and it just seems kind of out of my control. Alright, one more hallway of fuzz, and then we'll be out of here. I have 2 more of these. One for the boss. Yes. Level up one more time. A funny thing in regard to like playing on new hardware versus old stuff, that definitely will be in the video that I make about this. When I was playing the Pikmin 1 and 2 ports on Switch earlier, I turned on my Switch, which it had not been off for like a stupid long time. Oh god. Oh, I did it! Only like a week. It's been off. I turn it on, and I put in Pikmin 1 and 2, the cartridge, because I buy everything physical. That's how I roll. I put in the cartridge, and I click it, and then it says, hey, we want to update. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Every game wants to update when you first plug it in. So the game takes like 5 minutes to update. Then I go to start the game, and then the console says, oh, hold on, you can't play that yet. The console needs to do an update. And then it did like a 25-minute like firmware install. And I have all this on tape because I was recording to just do capture of Pikmin 1 and 2. In the back of my head, I'm like, man, I don't want to sound like an old man, but it's like, back in my day, when I popped in Pikmin 2 in the GameCube, it just goes. I go to play it now on the new thing, and I have to walk away for 30 minutes, and then come back, and now I can play it. It's like, dude. Okay, I'm gonna put this in y'all's hands. I did HP just to give me a starting point to get around the pain. But now we could do HP again. We could do flower points, which is more special moves, or we could do badge points, which is more badges. I could equip the close call badge, for example. Or no, I already did. I could equip something, whatever the next thing I get, I can equip. So I will leave that to you guys to vote on. I know that there's a delay between me talking and you seeing it, so I'll wait like 30 seconds or so. If I don't get an answer, I'll pick one, but I'll wait. Yeah, the politics thing is definitely true. Certain games do have like agendas, or like the concept of neutrality kind of seems to be going out the window for certain things. Not to mention that like some franchises have just like divulged or just nosedived into being like just messy microtransaction mayhem. NBA, the new NBA game is under fire for that right now. It's in like every company's review is like, it's a great game, but also like, what the F is up with these microtransactions? Like everyone references it in their reviews. Professional outlets, not just regular people. I feel like that aspect of it is getting out of hand for certain things too. Alright, I didn't see a vote, so I'm leaning toward flower points. I'll give it another 30 seconds, and then I'm going to choose flower points, unless I see someone say otherwise. Oh yeah, and the guinea pig thing, for sure. The early access. The concept of early access. Alright, I guess I'll just do flower points. Yeah, I'll do flower points. That has... It's good and it's bad. Like, I'd be lying if I said that I'd played early access games that I effing hated. That's not true. I've played plenty of games that were early access that I really, really loved. I think most notably Dyson Sphere program. It's probably still early access, and I'm playing it off and on for like a year or two. It's a great game. But not every early access game is Dyson Sphere program. So some of them are just like they're just releasing unfinished products, and then they I think a really weird new example, like I referenced this, we haven't Tori and I played Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, the whole game. It hasn't gone live on the channel yet, but one thing that I brought up when we were playing that was that Sonic Origins game had like just come out. And Sonic Origins, like it wasn't even out yet, or like it came out and it was like a week after it came out, and I was seeing an ad that said like, and don't forget to buy it was like it wasn't season pass, but it was like something like that. It was like, buy the expansion pass. It includes X, Y, and Z, and it was like content. And I was like, what the hell is up with that? Look, when you release a game and like 6 to 8 months later an expansion comes out, that's an expansion. But if it's like you're advertising extra content like the week of the release, you just didn't finish the game, and you're just trying to like monetize the fact that you didn't finish the game. Like, I don't know what else to think of that. Hit me really funny. Again, to like go back to me working at GameStop, like the season pass thing was like getting freaking out of control. Every game had a season pass that you'd pay for before the game even came out. Pre-order the game and pre-order the season pass. Why would you do that? You don't even know if the game's gonna be good, and like you're already pre-ordering non-existent content that we don't know anything about. Like, get out of here. And it was the weirdest games would have season passes. Max Payne 3 had a freaking season pass. Like a single player action third person shooter game. Like, no. That's my season pass rant. Yeah, $70 too. Mortal Kombat on the Switch is $70. If you look at that game, it looks like it's a freaking PS2 game. Maybe even worse. That might be an insult to the PS2. Now, I love the Nintendo Switch, but like you gotta know its limitations. It's just kind of offensive to release the game in that state and also charge $70 for it. And that's a finished game. That's not even like one of these examples of like them just trying to, like profit off of non-existent finished things. That's a finished game that they released for $70. Even when the game is complete, they're being shiesty. Oh no! Don't do the. I got 2 poison mushrooms again. Oh no! Oh no! Not again! I'm gonna save again, just to bank that XP. This is gonna be interesting. I do want to level up as much as I can, so I'm not gonna skip any fights. And what I'll be doing is we're going back to Petalburg, and then we're gonna get Coops, and then we're gonna unlock the path to Hooktail Castle. The beginning of Hooktail Castle is where I plan on ending this stream, which should be in probably roughly 20 or 30 minutes. So close to a 2-hour stream is kind of my objective, and it looks like I may hit that right on the nail, or hit the nail right on the head, I should say. Come here. The $70 thing, an observation I had that I thought was kind of weird. And again, like, it isn't to throw shade, because I love all this stuff, but like, Tears of the Kingdom being $70, I thought that was kind of fascinating, because I can't recall the prices of games increasing mid-generation before. Like, Nintendo was kind of averaging $39 to $49 for like the N64 GameCube era, and then everyone kind of went to $60 when the PS3 360 era came out. Again, except Nintendo, they were pretty much staying at $49. But then when the Wii U came out, now everyone is $60. Every new game is $59.99. So then now the PS5 and Xbox One S and X are out, and when the visuals are even more impressive and 4K, 8K. So okay, $70. They look a lot better. They're technically superior. It's your industry, I'll wait for it to go on sale. But as far as the price going up, I can understand your reasoning. I don't in any way understand why, out of nowhere with no technical differences, the Switch went from 49 or 59 to 69. Thought that was really, really, really interesting. Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I've been punished. Oh, they didn't do double damage. That's interesting. I also have not played Tears of the Kingdom, so I'm not attacking the quality of the game when I say that. I've seen plenty of footage. It looks like it's amazing, and I'm looking forward to playing it eventually. It's just really easy to get my money tied up in other things. Every time I want to buy that, I end up buying like some other thing. Most recently, 8-bit dough receivers. So I just got 8BitDo brand controller receivers for Super Nintendo, Genesis, PS1/PS2, and NES. And that lets you use like a ton of different Bluetooth controllers, like I think it's like PS4, Xbox One, and then their own brand of controllers on those consoles. And the whole, like, the thing I'm trying to figure out is I got all these consoles, and I've been, like, trying out tons of different controllers for them that are great. Like, I'm using a Retro Fighters one right now. This is the Blade GameCube controller. It's excellent. But I would love to have, like, a unifying solution, or instead of having, like, a ton of controllers, one receiver, or many receivers, many controllers. Many receivers, but one controller. So I bought an 8BitDo Pro 2 controller. That'll be here on Tuesday. And it's like that one controller can talk to all those receivers. So one controller operates all those consoles. Like, no, that's really hella cool. But, like, you know, I keep buying stuff like that, and then I'm like, can't get Tears of the Kingdom because I've tied up my fun money for this period. If it goes on sale though, you know, Black Friday sale or something, that's where I would probably end up buying it. Okay, made it back to Petalburg. One game over, and it wasn't from Death in Combat. It was from Poison Mushroom Roulette, which I did not think was lethal, but just got a cold reminder that with double pain on, it is. That could strike any time. Okay, so now is when Koops will join. So he's shy, but he's gonna ask us to join on our adventure. It's because his father had gone to fight Hooktail and never came back. So he wants to avenge his father's death, and be brave and be the courageous turtle that he really wants to be. He is a partner that I probably like have equipped or active the most playing this game. He's just kind of cool. I don't know. Him and Goombella are the two that I have out the most times. There's also a Yoshi companion that we're gonna get to. He's pretty fun as well. But I think that Goombella probably has like the best dialogue out of all the partners. Koops would be my second pick. But his defense is really good. That's his whole thing. He's a turtle, so he's got the shell. So he's the only partner that has a defense greater than 0. He has 1 defense, which makes him like literally immune to like a lot of those enemies we were first fighting in the prologue. Like, they can't hurt him. They can't do it. They can knock him over. He can fall on his back, but they, on that first strike, they are incapable of damaging him, which is pretty cool. And yes, I think I have close to, it's like 600 and something physical games in my collection. I've probably only played 15% of them all the way through, even less at all. It is definitely hard to work through that. I guess my vision is, if I'm lucky enough to retire, I'll have plenty of time to play them as an old man. But then the other problem with that is that the console collection will probably even have an even bigger backlog, because then I'll have to be catching up on the PlayStation 7 and all of its classic games like Metal Gear Solid 84 and Kingdom Hearts 17 Part 2 Redux Dream Drop stuff. So it may be a never-ending thing. And then Koops has a girlfriend who does not like that he's going off to Hooktail Castle just because he thinks he's not brave enough. He does want to avenge his dad. Like, he did say these things. So So it's not all bravado. She doesn't like that though. I had this thought recently that I wonder the Mario franchise is like super famous for showing the turtle shells like spinning as projectiles, and I have to wonder, did they get that from Gamera? Is that where they were inspired to have spinning projectile turtle shells? Because it's totally a Gamera thing. Gamera came first by quite a margin, but who knows? It's definitely it's been proven in science that you could have two unrelated creations. It's happened before, so maybe that's what happened. Alright, we're almost at our stopping point. A couple more battles. We get to use Koops. Koops' special move is that he can strike through all ground enemies. So he bypasses that issue where Mario can only use his hammer on the first ground enemy and not ones behind that. Koops can charge through all of them, although it does cost flower points, which is why I chose flower points to level up with, because I'm going to want to be using that move kind of a lot in certain fights coming up to end them as fast as I can, because the double pain thing on some of these upcoming fights is going to be very dangerous. Alright, and that's all the fights for this session. We just gotta open up the path to Hooktail's castle, and there's a save block in there, so we place both of these stones. And we get a little puzzle. We have to hit both of these switches at the same time. Like that. Koops hits the other one, I hit the first one, and then the path is revealed. Check for a secret here first. I don't think there is one. Nope. And into Hooktail Castle. And this is where I will be saving. Okay. So that is where I'll be ending it for now. So on the next episode, I will work through... We'll finish this chapter, go through all of Hooktail Castle, and then probably get a good chunk of the way through Chapter 2. So I'll probably be doing this like 2 hours at a time. It's probably my objective here. Maybe longer, depending on when I start it, depending on what I have going on that particular day. Today was a lot of capture work for Pikmin 2, 1 and 2 stuff I'll be doing at some point here. And then I'm in school as well. I have student obligations, so I squeeze this in wherever I can. Thank you so much for everyone who was watching now, looking at you, Sphinx, and everyone else who joined as well throughout. Thanks so much, Tori. Thank you so much, Monkey Race Car. It was really cool to have all of you here, because this is my first ever live stream. So again, thanks so much for watching.
Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed having you here and talking about all the things we did. It was super cool. You are most welcome. Thanks for all your stuff there. Have a good rest of your evenings.